So we've just arrived at Saqqara. First place we're going is the Pyramid of Unas, different names, slight variations, and one of the most interesting things about Saqqara, number one, it's got the oldest pyramid, the Pyramid of Zosa, or Djoser, which is supposed to be up to 2700 BC. But also, there was an earlier pyramid here, built potentially by Ezeneb, which was a first dynasty king, so first dynasty pyramid, who was the fifth king of the first dynasty. So that is really intriguing. It was 75 feet wide, 43 feet high, mud brick construction. Now it's been built over now and decommissioned very quickly, still in the first dynasty, and so there's nothing left to really see, but we're going to see if we can find evidence of it. And also here at Saqqara, there's many things here that are well known, like the Serapeum, the Step Pyramid, the other pyramid of mastabas, and the the texts that are written in some of the tombs. But we have to question, what was going on here. Was it a pre-dynastic site? We know that King Kaskaumi, who from Hierakonpolis, was also possibly here. It's known that there was possibly a temple or even a pyramid dedicated to him, and he was at the end of the second dynasty. And it's known that the third dynasty, Zosa, who came right after Kaskaumi, was here, and he got Imhotep to build the first pyramid here. So a lot going on. There's even polygonal stonework, Cyclopean construction, but this is a very, very important site in the prehistory and history of ancient Egypt. But here at the Unas pyramid, it's really, really interesting. We see some amazing, massive stonework that any megalithomaniac should check out. You can just see behind me here, you can just see this beautiful sheen and kind of cleanness of the rock carving. It's absolutely amazing. Just behind me here, around one of the sides of the Unas pyramid here at Saqqara, and again you can see the beautifully cut limestone, absolutely gorgeously done. Some of the best in Egypt apparently, and also some of the earliest. So we're looking again, which we find all over Egypt and different parts of the world, is examples that the earliest structures are the most sophisticated, with the most high level of technology. The other thing about Saqqara that really fascinates me is this thing that back in the early 1900s, Walter Emery, he was doing excavations here, and he found some skeletons which were very powerful, almost Cro-Magnon type skulls, much taller than average, here at Saqqara. Now we've just met an archaeologist in the museums, hopefully going to give us some leads on if we can actually get to look at these, or at least photos of them. But there are depictions near Saqqara of giants that even Zahi Hawass and other archaeologists have discovered. So we're just on one of the corners of the pyramid of Unas, and you can see this stone here. This is probably the largest stone that we have on this entire site. It's probably like 30 feet long, 12 feet deep. It's probably like 80-ton stone. And this was one of the first pyramids, along with the Pyramid of Zosa, ever built. Evidence of high technology everywhere you look, from a very, very early time, probably the earliest time they were building such sites here in Egypt. So we can see more examples here, just outside the Unas pyramid, where very high level of sophistication and carving. You can see different levels of like 3D carving here. Very impressive. And I believe there's saw marks. You can see striations on this rock here. So here we have just like very large pieces of granite, perfectly carved with drill holes in it. Also we have like red sandstone and alabaster and limestone, mixture of stones here, obviously different parts of the construction, but also for different qualities of energy.
can see here the flints that is inside the stone, same like this one here and here and everywhere. Who would choose this kind of stone to work with?
No way.
If I went to the quarry and I saw this kind of a stone, I said like, oh, forget it, skip it right away. This is iron chisels, good. Diamond circular saw will struggle with this stone.
Really?
Really? Flints.
You know why?
So we're going right underneath the Unas pyramid through this very small avenue here. It's really hard. We've got to crouch right down. It's like going in a long chamber in ancient Britain or something. Beautifully carved stone. Look at this. Incredible.
Right, obviously we're in the sarcophagus chamber of Unas, who was obviously a pharaoh of the 5th dynasty, who reigned around 2350 BC. But what's so important is that his pyramid is the first one that actually is known to contain the pyramid texts, which we can see all around us. And what these relate to is the journey of the soul in death towards its destination amongst the stars. They contain sayings, they contain spells, they contain the means by which the pharaoh can actually navigate this underworld called the Duat. And all of them are directional in that they start in the west, which is here, and talk about the way that the soul, once it is arisen within the actual sarcophagus, will move from west very gradually through the first part of the Duat, which is the first part of the night, into the second chamber, which relates to the second part of the night, into the east.
That's amazing to get under the pyramid of Unas here at Saqqara, crouching down really low to get back out now. We're going to go and look at the main step pyramid of Zosa. So you see behind me the great step pyramid of Zosa. Now it's known that this has 6 kilometers of tunnels underneath it, which is impressive in its own right. It dates back to 2600, 2700 BC. But the tomb there is this huge granite tomb made of all these lintels and blocks that they had to prop up when they were fixing the monument and reconstructing it back in 2010, 2011. They had to put all the scaffolding in and even these kind of air pillows to keep the roof in place while they did the restoration work. So it's pretty impressive what they've done recently, really, not just what they've done in the past. It's almost like they had to, go back to the old techniques of reconstruction. But what they found was 3D, relief stars painted on, bits of stone that had fallen, tunnels, tombs, other such things. It really is quite impressive considering the date. The step pyramid was built in several stages. There was a square or rectangular mastaba, about 63 meters on one side, about 8.5 meters in height. And after that, a smaller step pyramid was built, which was, it was about half the size of the main pyramid. And then eventually the main pyramid was built, so it was like built in 3 stages. There's a burial chamber apparently, or some kind of construction inside it at a depth of 28 meters below the ground, and several levels and tunnels continue down there. They also found between 30 or 40,000 stone jars made of granite, alabaster and schist found within it, which are now in virtually all the museums in all the countries around the world. Now, there's also a massive granite kind of so-called tomb or construction. There's other rooms, there's megalithic construction, there's different types of very hard rock, and you can see this is one of the most impressive, in fact one of the earliest, if not the earliest, pyramid in all of Egypt, built by Imhotep, who later became like God himself because of his brilliant architecture, construction, but also his education and knowledge about medicine. But yeah, so this is it. This is the Great Pyramid of Saqqara.